Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this week's video where I will be choosing my TBR for June using my TBR prompt jar. Before we get started, I did change my TBR to this bookshelf because my TBR cart was so full that it was starting to lean to like certain sides because of the weight. So I kind of just like made the decision to transfer everything to this shelf right here, although you can't really see all of my TBR. There's like books behind here. So I might scoop like some of these up here. I'm not too sure yet because you can't necessarily see all of the books that are on my physical TBR. But either way, I have some rough idea of what's back there. So if a prompt kind of correlates with one of those books, then maybe I will go digging for it. Or if I can't find any options on this front stack, then I will move on to the back row. But I think I should be okay with just picking books from this front section because these are like my most anticipated reads, or like the books that I'm wanting to read more than the ones that I have like towards the back. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the first prompt. Okay, the first prompt we got is a new author. I have so many books on here that I could read for this because I have a lot of authors that I haven't read from. Even though I love to stick to my authors that I know and trust and love, there's still quite a few options on my TBR cart that I could choose for a new author, which is always fun. I feel like finding a new author is one of the best feelings in the world. Like when I first read a Kristen Hanna book, I fell in love with her writing and everything, so I'm super excited to see what we could pick for this one. I'm gonna go take a look at what I have and then see which new authors are calling out to me. There are like 4 that I really want to read, but I've read a book by most of these authors except for this one. I just don't know if I'm in the mood for a memoir, but I haven't read anything by Dolly Alderton. I don't know if I said this or not, but I really am hoping for like summery vibes on my June TBR. So let's see what else we have. Okay, so the 2 options I have for a new author is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton and then A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I've really been wanting to jump into a Frederick Bachman book for so long. His new book looks so good. The My Friends book, it looks so good. But I think I heard that this book is like very emotional and it's definitely gonna make you cry. And that's really not the vibe that I'm going for this summer. So I think I'm gonna go with Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This is more of a memoir style writing about like the triumphs and everything about becoming an adult. Although I have tried to start this book a couple of times and I don't know if it was because it starts in like a teenager perspective and then she kind of grows up and you get her perspective like all throughout growing up. I'm just not like too interested in like the teenage perspective. It's just a little childish to me and I wasn't really vibing with it when I tried reading it, but I am going to try to read this one again, and I think if I get stumped out again, I'm just going to pop in the audiobook because it's a memoir and I won't feel too guilty about listening to the audiobook since it's a memoir. So I think I'm going to go with Dolly Alderton, Everything I Know About Love for my first prompt, which was a new author. But I hope this is a good one because I really love her covers and I would love to read more of her books. And I've also kind of heard good things about this one, so I'm excited. Okay, moving on to our second prompt. We have a free pick! Oh my gosh, that'll go perfect with my mood reading video that I'm doing right now. So I'm just gonna pick a random book that I want to read, and then we'll move on to the next prompt, because that one's super easy and requires absolutely no thought. So let me pick out a book real quick. She's chunky though. So the book I picked for free pick is The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I absolutely adore Emily Henry's writing. She has written some of my favorite books like Funny Story and Book Lovers and Beach Read. Those are all just such great reads, and I feel like she packs in like rom-com with such an emotional depth to it, so I am super excited for this one. I'm not too sure what it's about. I know that they're both writers and that's kind of all that I want to know. I think I'm gonna go into it blind because I just love Emily Henry's writing and the way that she tells the story, and sometimes the blurbs spoil a little bit of the book for me, so I think I'm just gonna go into this one blind. But I am so excited for this one. The only thing is that I wish it wasn't a hardback because I hate holding hardbacks. I also haven't even taken the dust cover off to see what the actual book looks like. Oh my gosh, that red is gorgeous. Is that a quote? Hold on. Oh, it says, "Welcome to this great big beautiful life." That is gorgeous. The book that I'm gonna choose for a free pick, and I'm honestly so excited for this one. This one might be my most like anticipated read of my TBR, even though I've only picked out 2 books so far. Either way, let's go ahead and pick our next prompt. Oh, I had that prompt last month and I was wondering where the heck the little slip went. It says hubby chooses. I'm not gonna do it because I did it last month and I just couldn't find the slip. So current season themed, which is exactly what I wanted. So let me take a look and see if I can pull out a couple of summer themed books. I think a couple of them are actually behind a couple of these stacks. So I'm gonna pick out a couple options and then I will come back to you. Okay, so we actually have quite a few options for a summer themed book because like I said, I have had these books on my TBR for so long and I'm just like so strict about reading them in the summertime that I haven't even thought about picking them up unless it's summer. So I do have 4 options, which is quite a bit. First one I have is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Love anything she writes. I don't know how I haven't read that yet. I don't know this book, but it's called Bookshop by the Sea by Denise Hunter. Not too sure. It's a little coastal small town bookstore vibes. So never read that author before either. And then we have Mary Jane, which not too sure. All I know is 1970s Baltimore and it's giving summer on the cover. And then the last one I have is The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hilderbrand. This one I've heard really good things about. I've heard really good things about Ellen Hilderbrand's writing in general, but I've also heard that it's more like toggled towards like 30-year-old women and like people in their 30s. So I don't know if that's gonna be the vibe, but I also kind of love that vibe. Like, yeah, I love reading about like my 20s and everything, people in their 20s, but I also kind of love some romances that are set in like your 30s. That's so much more realistic for a lot of people. So I have really been wanting to read an Ellen Hilderbrand book, but I really want to read this Taylor Jenkins Reid's book. Like, I don't know how this hasn't been taken off my TBR yet. I know that I love Taylor Jenkins Reid so bad. I'm like so surprised that I have this on my TBR still. And the way that she writes is just so compelling, so fast paced too. Like, I probably finished this book in like a day or 2. 365 pages. I would love to read this book. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. I think I'm gonna go with this book for a summer themed book. Is August still summer? Like, I feel like it is. Also, the little blurb on here by Oprah Daily, it says, if summer could somehow fit into a book, then you'd find it in Malibu Rising. So yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna go with this one for a summer themed book. I really don't want to put these ones back away because I'm gonna have to move another stack. So I think I'm gonna leave these ones out and maybe throughout summer I will reach for them. Who knows? Either way, let's move on. There are a couple of books right here that I really want to read in June. So I'm hoping that the next couple of prompts will kind of like direct me towards those ones. But if not, I will probably end up reading them anyways. So let's go ahead and choose prompt number 4. Ooh, a small town romance. I don't know if I have any right now, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I could do a Kindle Unlimited, but I'm really trying to get through my physical TBR. So let me look and see if I have any small town romances. I know I have one, I just don't know where it's at. So the only small town romance book I have is Reckless by Elsie Silver, which is the 4th book of the Chestnut Spring series, and I really want to get this series finished in 2025. I have one more book after this, which is so exciting, but I love Elsie Silver's writing. I love the Chestnut Spring series. I feel like I'm connected to this entire family, although one thing I will say is that I get this series and the Rebel Blue Ranch series mixed up a bit, although I'm finished with that one. I sometimes got the characters like mixed up because they were very similar in my opinion. I'm so excited to read about Theo and Winter. I've heard that it's a lot of people's favorite like couple throughout the whole series, and right now my favorite couple in the Chestnut Spring series was Jasper and Sloane. They're like childhood best friends to lovers, which I absolutely adore that so much. So I am excited to see what we get with Winter and Theo. So that's what I'm gonna choose for a small town romance. Not like I have any other options, but either way, I am still excited for that book. Okay, let's go ahead and do the last TBR prompt, which is number 5. I'm also actually getting pretty low on my TBR prompts, which is exciting because then I can finally make a new TBR jar. Anyways, our last prompt is a new release, which is perfect because that means I can grab one of these. The one that I'm gonna grab is Summer in the City by Alex Astor. This came out in 2025. I don't know when exactly. I think it's been a couple of months, but I have been dying to read this one. It is a rom-com set in New York City in the summertime. That's really all I know. The other thing that I know is that the cover without the dust jacket is just freaking gorgeous, and the graphics and everything, I'm obsessed. And then you open it up and that's what like the cover inside looks like, and it's just so pretty. I'm so excited for this one. I do enjoy Alex Astor's writing. I really enjoyed White Lark by her, and I want to see how she writes in like the rom-com setting, so I am really excited for this one. This is probably one of my most anticipated reads of the year, along with Great Big Beautiful Life. So I'm pretty happy with how my TBR has actually turned out. Let's go over the 5 books that I picked. So we have Summer in the City by Alex Astor, and then Reckless by Elsie Silver, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and then last but not least we have Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. So that's a pretty good lineup for June. I feel like it's very colorful, very summery, very lighthearted, nothing too heavy for my June reads because I swear I will hit a reading slump. I hit a reading slump basically every summer, which is so annoying, but I think I will be safe from a reading slump with this TBR. I went ahead and put my TBR up where it belongs, and